the Daily Wire has parted ways or fired Candace Owens.
The Daily Wire severs ties with Candace Owens.
Candace Owens is fired.
Was she fired, or did she leave of her own volition?
Jeremy, the God King of the Daily Wire, announced that the Daily Wire and Candace Owens have parted ways.
Daily Wire and Candace Owens have ended their relationship.
Got to ask you about the recent departure of Candace Owens.
Justifying why he fired Candace.
Like, look what's going on with Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro. I want to know what she was fired for.
Welcome back, guys, and this time, it's just Candace.
What happens when a rising conservative star clashes with her own media empire over Kanye West, Israel, and free speech? In this video, we're diving into Candace Owens' explosive journey with the Daily Wire, her meteoric rise, the Kanye West interview controversy, and her public feud with Ben Shapiro over the Israel-Gaza war.
The question is about Candace Owens. I think her behavior during this has been disgraceful. Without a doubt. She still works for my company. I think she's been absolutely disgraceful. I think that her faux sophistication on these particular issues has been ridiculous. It's not faux sophistication, it's ridiculous. Everybody can see the moves that she's making and the things that she's saying, and I find them disreputable.
This is part 2 of our series on the Daily Wire, and trust me, this drama is wild. Stick around to see how Candace's exit shook the conservative world and what it means for young conservatives today. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for part 3 of this series, and let's get into it. Candace went from a college dropout to a conservative icon, but her time at the Daily Wire ended in a firestorm of controversy. From her defense of Kanye West to her clash with Ben Shapiro over Israel-Gaza, we'll cover it all, including how the Daily Wire's staunch Zionism might be pushing away younger conservatives. Let's start with how Candace became a star before joining the Daily Wire. To understand the Candace Owens Daily Wire saga, we need to rewind to her origins. Born in 1989 in Stamford, Connecticut, Candace wasn't always the conservative firebrand we know today. In high school, she faced racial harassment, including phishing voicemails, which led her family to sue the school board, winning a $37,500 settlement. This experience shaped her early rejection of victimhood culture, a theme that would define her career. After dropping out of college at the University of Rhode Island, she worked in media, before pivoting to politics in her mid-20s. In 2017, Candace launched Red Pill Black, a YouTube channel promoting Black conservatism. Her videos, slamming progressive policies and the Black Lives Matter movement,
"Oh my God, Charlottesville, white supremacy is alive and well, run,"
were a breath of fresh air for conservatives frustrated with liberal dominance in media. Candace's sharp wit, polished delivery, and unique perspective as a young Black woman in a mostly white, male-dominated movement made her stand out.
"It's Donald Trump's fault that they're feeling energized. It's Obama's fault that Black Lives Matter is violent. Both of you children, to your room. It's obviously the media's fault."
Her content went viral, racking up millions of views, and she caught the eye of conservative leaders like Charlie Kirk. That same year, she joined Turning Point USA as Director of Urban Engagement, hitting college campuses with speeches urging students to reject what she called the victimhood industrial complex. Her energy was infectious, blending humor, data, and unapologetic takes. In 2018, Kanye West's tweet, "I love the way Candace Owens thinks," catapulted her into the mainstream, bridging pop culture and politics. Kanye's endorsement wasn't just a cosign, it was a cultural moment, amplifying Candace's reach to millions beyond conservative circles. Candace leaned into this momentum, co-founding the Blexit Foundation with Brandon Tatum in 2018 to encourage Black Americans to leave the Democratic Party, what she controversially called a plantation. Her provocative rhetoric, calling out liberal elites and promoting personal responsibility, resonated with a growing audience, but also drew fierce criticism. Progressives accused her of pandering to white conservatives, while her fans praised her for challenging groupthink. By 2020, Candace was a conservative superstar, speaking at the CPAC meeting with Donald Trump and calling him the savior of the free world. But her boldness came with baggage. This willingness to push boundaries made her a polarizing figure, setting the stage for her move to the Daily Wire in 2020, where she'd host Candace.
In this age of propaganda, and the media has done a really good job of creating a caricature of Candace Owens. What's going to be different about Candace at the Daily Wire? The timing right now is really crucial to stand up on a platform and to say, I'm here, I'm a conservative, I'm not apologizing. I'm really committed to changing things. I have the courage to stand by my convictions and genuinely believe in the importance of challenging ideas and the importance of debate, and that's why I'm really excited to join the Daily Wire team. This show is going to be uplifting, funny, political. This show is going to be all of the pieces of me.
Her rise was a masterclass in branding, but it also foreshadowed the clashes that would define her time at the Daily Wire. By 2022, Candace Owens was a cornerstone of the Daily Wire, but her relationship with the outlet started showing cracks. The first major flashpoint was her friendship with Kanye West, now Ye. Kanye had been pivotal in Candace's rise, amplifying her voice with his massive platform in 2018. Their bond grew stronger over shared views on free speech and skepticism of establishment narratives. But when Kanye made anti-Semitic comments in 2022, like his tweet about going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, Candace didn't distance herself. Instead, she doubled down, arguing on her Daily Wire show that Kanye's comments weren't anti-Semitic if viewed through an honest lens. This stunned many, especially at the Daily Wire, co-founded by Ben Shapiro, a vocal defender of Israel and Jewish causes.
Listen, on a personal level, I get Candace defending her friend. She's very close with Kanye West. I get it. I don't think that her defense of Kanye is correct or convincing. Say, once again, for the 1,000th time, are in fact anti-Semitic.
The outlet's pro-ISIS Israel's stance was non-negotiable, and Candace Owens' defense of Kanye put her on a collision course with its leadership. Her stance wasn't just about loyalty to a friend, it reflected her broader America First philosophy, which prioritized domestic issues over foreign alliances. The tension escalated when Candace and Kanye appeared together at a 2022 Paris fashion show, both wearing White Lives Matter t-shirts. The stunt sparked global headlines. They discouraged Candace from interviewing Kanye on her show, fearing the backlash of platforming someone who had praised Hitler in a December 2022 InfoWars interview. While no public record confirms an outright ban, sources close to the outlet suggested leadership saw the interview as a liability. Candace pushed back, arguing on X that free speech means platforming controversial voices, not silencing them. Her fans agreed, with one X post reading, Candace is the only one at the Daily Wire with the guts to stand by her principles. Critics, however, were brutal, with one user tweeting, Candace Owens defending Kanye's anti-Semitism is a disgrace to conservatism. The controversy wasn't just about Kanye, it exposed a deeper rift. Candace's isolationist leanings clashed with the Daily Wire's hawkish Zionism, and her refusal to toe the company line made her a liability in their eyes. This episode also highlighted Candace's unique position in conservative media. Unlike Shapiro, who built his brand on structured debates, Candace thrived on emotional connection and authenticity. Her defense of Kanye resonated with fans who felt the Daily Wire was becoming too corporate, prioritizing sponsors and optics over truth. On X, one supporter wrote, Candace isn't afraid to challenge the establishment, even her own bosses. The Kanye controversy was a warning sign of the bigger battle brewing over Israel and Gaza, where Candace's dissent would push the Daily Wire to its breaking point. The Candace Owens Daily Wire saga reached its peak after October 7th of 2023, when Hamas launched a devastating attack on Israel, killing over 1,100 people, including civilians, and taking hostages. Let's be unequivocal. This was an inexcusable act of terrorism, a tragedy that shook the world and left scars that will linger for generations. Israel's response, a military campaign in Gaza that's killed over 68,000 Palestinians, according to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry, ignited a global firestorm. This conflict became the breaking point for Candace and the Daily Wire. Candace took a bold stance, tweeting in November of 2023 that no government anywhere has a right to commit a genocide, ever. She clarified she wasn't anti-Semitic, emphasizing that her criticism was about policy, not people. Her comments questioning Israel's military response and U.S. involvement, like billions in aid, put put her at odds with the Daily Wire's pro-Israel editorial line. Ben Shapiro, a proud Zionist, responded directly on X, calling her stance disgraceful and accusing her of faux sophistication in a heated thread. Candace fired back, quoting Matthew 6:24, "No one can serve two masters," and implying that Shapiro was prioritizing Israel over free speech and conservative principles. The feud was more than a policy disagreement, it was a public spectacle. Shapiro, known for his razor-sharp logic and disdain for identity politics, seemed to lean into his own tribal loyalty to Israel, a move many found ironic. On X, one user posted, "Ben Shapiro rails against woke tribalism, but goes all in on Zionism. Pot, meat, kettle." Candace's supporters, especially younger conservatives, rallied behind her, with posts like, "Candace is asking the tough questions the Daily Wire won't touch." Critics, meanwhile, accused her of veering into anti-Semitic territory.
I won. I didn't expect it. I played it cool, but it's recently now been announced that it is me. I am the anti-Semite of the year. Yeah.
Though she consistently denied this, framing her critique as anti-war and America-focused. The Daily Wire's response was disappointing to those who valued its free speech rhetoric. Instead of engaging Candace's arguments, whether you agree with them or not, the outlet reportedly pressured her to align with their pro-Israel stance. When she refused, the rift widened. By March of 2024, Candace and the Daily Wire parted ways, with the outlet issuing a vague statement about mutual agreement. Candace, however, was blunt, tweeting, "I'm finally free to speak my truth." The lack of nuance from the Daily Wire was striking. Here was a platform built on facts over feelings.
Facts don't care about your feelings. Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts.
Yet it seemed unable to tolerate dissent from one of its biggest stars on a deeply complex issue. This feud exposed a broader tension in conservative media. The Israel-Gaza conflict is a sensitive topic, and the Daily Wire's refusal to entertain dissenting voices, even from an ally like Candace, alienated fans who expected an open debate. On X, one user summed it up. If the Daily Wire can't handle Candace's questions, how can they claim to champion free speech? The saga also highlighted Shapiro's personal stake in the issue, raising questions about whether his emotional investment in Israel clouded his usual commitment to intellectual rigor. The Candace Owens-Ben Shapiro feud wasn't just a clash of personalities. It revealed a generational divide in conservatives. Older conservatives, shaped by decades of U.S.-Israel alliances and Cold War politics, often see support for Israel as a bedrock principle. A 2024 Pew Research survey found that 82% of conservatives over 50 strongly support Israel, viewing it as a key ally against terrorism. Younger conservatives, however, are far less monolithic. Only 58% of those under 30 share that unwavering support, with many of those questioning U.S. involvement in foreign conflicts. This shift is driven by several factors. Younger conservatives, raised on social media and exposed to global perspectives, are more skeptical of traditional foreign policy. On X, posts like, "Why are we sending billions to Israel when our infrastructure is crumbling?" reflect a growing America First sentiment that Candace tapped into. Her critiques of Israel's Gaza campaign resonated with fans who saw her as a voice for nuance, not anti-Semitism. One X-user wrote, "Candace isn't anti-Israel, she's pro-America. The Daily Wire doesn't get it." The Daily Wire's blatant Zionism, led by Shapiro's daily defenses of Israel, risk alienating this demographic. The outlet's coverage often frames Israel as beyond reproach, with little room for debate about its actions. When Candace challenged this line, she was reportedly sidelined, a move that backfired. Fans on X called out the hypocrisy, with one posting, "The Daily Wire preaches free speech, but muzzles Candace for asking questions. So much for principles." The outlet's rigid stance undermines its credibility as a platform for open discourse, especially among younger conservatives who value authenticity over dogma. The irony is glaring. Ben Shapiro, who's built a career dismantling progressive tribalism, seems ensnared by his own. His fierce loyalty to Israel appeared to override his commitment to debate, disappointing fans who admired his "facts don't care about your feelings" mantra. On X, one user equipped, "Ben's anti-tribalism crusade stops at Israel's borders." This perception that the Daily Wire prioritizes Zionism over intellectual freedom could cost them allies and fans in a generation that's increasingly skeptical of unwavering allegiances. Candace's exit amplified this divide. By aligning with the America First crowd, she positioned herself as a voice for young conservatives who feel disconnected from the Daily Wire's establishment leanings. The outlet's failure to navigate this generational shift could have long-term consequences, especially as competitors like Rumble and independent creators gain traction. After leaving the Daily Wire in March 2024, Candace Owens didn't miss a beat. She relaunched the Candace Owens Show independently on YouTube and Rumble, promising unfiltered truth, no corporate strings attached. Her first episode, Why I Left the Daily Wire, was a bombshell, pulling over 2 million views in its first week. In it, she detailed her frustrations with the outlet's editorial constraints and doubled down on her America First stance, criticizing U.S. foreign aid to Israel and Ukraine while focusing on domestic issues like border security and cultural decline. Fans on X ate it up, with one posting, "Candace is free at last. She's the future of conservatism." Candace wasted no time capitalizing on her Kanye West connection to him for a 3-hour interview in April 2024. The episode, covering free speech, faith, and Kanye's controversies, drew 5 million views, but reignited accusations of anti-Semitism. Candace dismissed these as smears to silence me, arguing that open dialogue is the antidote to division. Critics weren't convinced, with one ex-post calling her reckless for platforming Kanye's nonsense. Supporters, however, saw it as a bold move, with one user tweeting, "Candace is doing what the Daily Wire wouldn't, letting controversial voices speak." Her post-Daily Wire career is an example for independent influencers. She signed a reported $10 million podcast deal with a major streaming platform, expanding her reach beyond YouTube. Her speaking tours, packed with young fans, have sold out venues across the U.S., with Candace leaning into hot-button issues like big tech censorship and cultural Marxism. She's also embraced emerging platforms like Locals, building a subscription-based community for uncensored content. Her audience, largely Gen Z and millennials, are skeptical of institutions, and it continues to grow, with her YouTube channel gaining 500,000 subscribers since her exit. Candace's trajectory shows she's betting on authenticity over corporate loyalty. By aligning with the America First crowd, she's tapping into a growing segment of conservatives who feel that the Daily Wire has become too entrenched in establishment talking points. Her critics, however, warned that her provocative style risks alienating moderates. On X, one user wrote, "Candace is fearless, but she's walking a tightrope with these controversies." Whether she can sustain her momentum remains to be seen, but for now, she's proving life after the Daily Wire can be just as impactful, if not more so. Let's tie it all together. Candace Owens' journey with the Daily Wire, from her rise as a conservative powerhouse to her explosive exit, tells a bigger story about the fractures in conservative media. Her defense of Kanye West and her critiques of Israel's actions in Gaza sparked a public feud with Ben Shapiro, exposing the Daily Wire's struggle to handle dissent. The irony? Shapiro, who spent years fighting identity politics, seems caught up in his own tribal loyalty to Israel, while the Daily Wire's rigid Zionism alienated fans who expected an open debate. This saga highlights a generational shift. Younger conservatives, less tied to traditional pro-Israel orthodoxy, are gravitating toward voices like Candace, who prioritize America First principles. The Daily Wire's failure to navigate this divide could cost them allies and influence, especially as Candace thrives independently, building a platform for a new kind of conservatism. If you love this deep dive into the Candace Owens Daily Wire drama, smash that like button and subscribe for part 3 of our series. Be sure to check out my content in the description and let me know in the comments, what's your biggest takeaway from Candace's story? Was she right to leave the Daily Wire, or should she have stayed? The Candace Owens Daily Wire saga is a wild chapter in conservative media, and it's far from over. If you want more breakdowns like this, and stay tuned, I post content every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Till next time.